I want to talk about some of my journey, and I know many people in this room would reflect something similar, but going from the beginning into this place where you're preaching crusades, where hundreds and thousands of people are getting born again, where miracles are happening, God's showing up in maximum security prisons and the like. And at the very beginning, God showed me a vision. He said, "This is my presence. This is my presence, and there's enough here for you to have as much as you want." And then he said, "There's enough here for anybody who's ever wanted any to have as much as they want." And I want to tell you, we can't overvalue his presence. We can't overvalue intimacy, and we can't overvalue the secret place. I want to talk about digging your own well, and then we're going to minister to some people. You know, this really is stirring in me out of a place of we just had graduation again from the School of Ministry. Guess I don't have to ask. There's some graduates in the room, but we just 1,800 students, and they graduate every year. More and more students come, more and more students graduate, and the ones that I see excel beyond the school, beyond graduations, the one that go home, go to the nations, go to the missions field, go to business, to the medical community, and they see heaven come, and they see things change, are the ones who have their own well. Ha 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 ha. Do you know, I too went through the School of Ministry and absolutely loved it, highlight of my life, and but I was applying when I first wanted to come to the School of Ministry. I saw Bill Johnson come and just blow up a service. Holy Spirit and Bill blew up a service like something I'd never seen before, and I thought to myself, I need to get more of that. And so I went and I was filling out the application for the School of Ministry, and the Lord said to me, "Not yet." He said, "Not yet." He said, "I want you to wait another year." And I didn't understand right away, but I said, "All right, God." So I put the application down, and I waited another year. And I can look back, I was living in a city that didn't have the same manifestation of the kingdom that's going on here. It didn't have a church of all these 1,000 radical revivalists is going on here, but he set me into this season of digging my own well. And I look back on it now. I didn't necessarily understand then. I look back on it now, and I'm like, that was the sweetest season of my life. That I learned about meeting with Jesus in a way that wasn't dependent on the incredible worship team, although we love that. It wasn't dependent on the momentum of others. It was dependent on the momentum of one. And I began to meet with God in secret. Oh, and the most radical things happen, and right after encountering the presence of God in a new way, I launched into this season of about 4 months. Actually, it hasn't stopped, and going on 14 years. It hasn't stopped, but there was this 4-month season where literally I went into my room and I closed the door at night, and I would lay on the floor, and I would just remember how God had touched my body, how he manifested himself the night before, and his presence would begin to come back. But it was at the very beginning. It was at the very beginning. I didn't have a lot of information. I just had a big place in my heart for the love of God. I didn't have a lot of knowledge. I had a lot of awe. And I just laid on the floor. I couldn't quote the verses to you, but I just lay on the floor and I would just remember the presence from last night, and it would start to come again. But in this season, I only knew his presence in this manifest way in my room. I mean, I'd seen it at David Hogan, and I saw it at the youth camp, I saw Heidi Baker in between here, and like, whew, I got blasted seeing Heidi for the first time. That was awesome. But for me, I only knew his presence like this in my room. And then about 4 months in, I'm driving to work one day, and I'm rushing to get there, and I'm thinking about what I have to do, and I stop at a stop sign. I didn't even have worship music on at the time. I'm just like, got to get to work, thinking about the list of things I got to do, and I'm at the stop sign, and the Spirit of God invades the car. I mean, God just He shows up in the car, thick love of God. Like at the camp when the heavens split open, liquid love came in, this thick love of God comes in the car. And I tell you, I was so new, I was so green to this stuff, it kind of freaked me out. It'll sound funny to you, but I mean, I was so green, I literally was like, God, what are you doing here? I was like, God, what are you doing here? And I'm going through this checklist in my mind. I'm like, I wasn't praying. I wasn't even really. I'm sorry, but I wasn't really thinking about you at the moment. I wasn't worshiping. I didn't even have worship on. God, all I had known is how to go in my room and close the door and remember the presence of the night before. But I wasn't doing that, and he came anyway. and I literally, it sounds funny, but I literally had to go, I said, God, what are you doing here? And God spoke to me, and he said, you've pressed in for friendship. Now I just like being with you.